Okay, so I kind of have my own conspiracy theory going on. Have you ever been just walking through the woods and stumbled across a wild tomato or a wild cucumber or a wild squash or a wild corn stalk just like growing out in the middle of the woods? Or like anywhere wild. So like you can make a pig live for a while off of like crackled corn, but if it was in nature, you know, the pig would be eating more than just crackled corn. So over a long period of time, it's probably going to have some health problems from not eating what it's supposed to eat. So you hear all the time that like even the vegetables in the store aren't giving people the nutrients they need, that we need to take vitamins or do something else. You know, the fact that like if you plant corn or you plant tomatoes, you know, you got to plant it every year. You know, it doesn't come back the next year. That sounds suspicious to me. Like, I know how it works, you know, it's a plant that, you know, comes back once every year. But honestly, personally, like, I think it was designed. I think that vegetables aren't what we're even supposed to eat. If you put a wild human out in the wild, what are they going to eat? Why are we so unhealthy? Why do we have all these health issues? Sounds like the world's biggest money scam to me. If you have to plant something and it takes all this time and it dies once a year and it's so time consuming, you got to plant it the next year and all this stuff. I think that God made everything on this planet for a reason. Everything that we have, every plant that there is, there's an animal that eats it. There's a way to decompose it. When that animal dies, there's something that decomposes the animals. I think that we're here because there's something on this planet that was already here that we were supposed to have. I'm probably going to get like assassinated just for making this video, but if you start researching, like I went out in my backyard, I started looking up one plant a day on what I can eat. My whole backyard full of all kinds of weeds and grass. I'm talking about like little weeds and stuff like that. How much of the stuff is edible and what is actually like causes like health benefits, like curing cancer and other things. This food, it was made by like the earth and it comes back every year. Every year it comes back because it's in nature. It's part of what we're supposed to eat. They do not want you to find out that you can walk into your backyard and eat whatever you want to eat out of it, and it's actually healthy for you and it's actually what you're supposed to eat and it's free. There's all this like false illusion that you could get poisoned, you could eat the wrong thing, you could die, you know, don't eat stuff out of your backyard. All this bad stuff could happen. And I think that's just them literally has planted in your brain since you were a little kid to scare you. Because since I've started researching all this, you know, I've researched tons of things, different plants, what's in my backyard, what I could eat. I've only found 2 things that really you probably shouldn't eat, but it won't kill you and you'd be fine. I've not found anything in my backyard so far that would kill me. I'm not saying there's not stuff out there. I'm sure there's some plants you should definitely avoid. If you do decide to get into this, do make sure that you are actually like identifying the plants, that you're doing research on them. What I do is I pick one plant a day, figure out if it's edible, I try it. If I have a reaction, that way I know that it was that particular plant, like one plant a day, you know, just do your research on things before you eat them at the same time. But what I've recently discovered is I'm going to retrain myself on everything. Everything that I was taught as a kid, I'm going to erase and I'm going to learn all over again on my own. Because there's so many lies that like society trains you to be one type of way when it's not what you're supposed to be doing. If you really like put research into things and go down this rabbit hole, you're going to realize how much like everything is a lie and that the world is so like vast and there's so many things out there that we don't know about. If the power were to go out tonight and you couldn't warm up your food because you have a stove, you know, and it's raining outside so you can't go outside and make a fire, how are you going to feed your kids tonight for dinner? And the power is out everywhere, so you can't go to the gas station because the registers are closed, you can't go to the store, you can't go to the restaurants because their stoves are off. What are you going to do? Are you going to feed them potato chips because they're going to be mad because they're going to be, ew, I don't want Chef Boyardee cold. Trust me, I went to the mountains with my little sister, the whole town went out of power. She would not eat her Chef Boyardee unless it was warmed up, and we had no stove, no microwave, and it was raining outside, so we couldn't start a fire. And I was like, this is really, truly scary. You know, I wasn't prepared for this, and I don't think anybody is, that one day the power is just going to be off. Not that it will be, but it could be. And that little stress in your mind of what am I going to do, if you start researching this stuff, I think it'll really reassure you that you have more opportunities to survive off of nothing. You know, if the grid goes down, you're not going to starve if you know this stuff. You can take it as far as you want it, to bugs, to plants, to animals. There's so much stuff that you need to be learning now, because if you don't know everything you need to know right now and Google goes out and YouTube turns off and your phone died, what are you going to do? Groceries, fast food, vegetables aren't even giving you what you need. Everything's killing you. And this stuff that's right beneath your feet, right outside in your backyard, is literally like cures illnesses. You look down at the grass, all you see is grass, right? Like, oh, I'm just sitting in my backyard with the grass. No, there is like, I'm looking at 20 different plants just right here. There's 20 different things right here. All these clover flowers, if I were to pick them and dry them, I can make bread. They're flour. You can make flour out of the flowers of clover, and I can eat this. And it's good for me. There's so much out there, and if you guys want to follow my journey on learning what it is, follow it.